My first real Egyptian feeling was at the WEG in 2014. I'm currently ranked 38th on the Longines ranking list. Last month I was 32nd. That was the highest rank I've ever been. I'm 28 years old. I grew up in Kuwait. I spent all my childhood there, and I moved to the US for university in 2009. I went to school at Stanford University in California, studied economics for 4 years and got my degree. And then I decided to dedicate all my time to the horses and become a professional rider. And since then, we've just been, competing at a high level, getting Egypt qualified for the Olympics and a few other things along the way. Yeah, I started riding from a very young age. I started in Kuwait at a riding school probably when I was 5 or 6 years old. I still remember my legs could barely reach the bottom of the saddle if I was just there kicking the saddle. But that's the same start as everyone, I guess. I just started taking lessons at a riding school once or twice a week. By the time I was 10 years old, I got my first horse, and I started competing, probably around age 11. So I'm currently ranked 38th on the Longines ranking list. Last month I was 32nd. That was the highest rank I've ever been. This has been, quite a phenomenal year for me. Just a really good group of horses, very consistent results. I think ultimately that's all it takes to reach the top 30 in the world. To reach the top 10, that's going to be a different challenge. Obviously you need to show a lot more. Even though I showed heavily this year, I don't think I overshowed. I think at the end of the day, consistency is what gets you there. So my goal has just been to be very consistent in 5-star classes, to get my horses to go as well as possible, and to also choose the right shows for my horses. I think that's very important. It's one thing to have great horses, it's another thing to have a great plan. And I think that's a very important aspect that a lot of people forget about, that we deal with live animals, that they don't have the same day every day. And so it's very important to recognize what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and then make your plan according to that. And luckily this year, I feel like I managed to get the most out of my horses. I still feel like I can be better. There's still things I want to improve on. I had new horses in my string, thanks to a wonderful owner that I'm still starting to learn. So hopefully next year will be an even better year. I think my relationship with the Egyptian Equestrian Federation goes quite a long way back. Even when I was, 14, 15 years old and I was showing in the Arab tour, I needed support from my federation, and they were always there to allow me to show, to send my entries, to make sure that I was taken care of when I was going abroad to represent my country. I'd say my first real Egyptian feeling was at the WEG in 2014. That was also my first major championship. It was my first time representing my country at such a high level. Obviously, I'd been to 5-star shows before, but it's a different feeling when you're at a real world championship. So 2014 would be the first time I wore the red jacket. This was a very important year for us as a country. We had a big chance to qualify for the Olympic Games, which is not something we get every year. We have the best group of riders, I think, that we've ever had, and we have the best group of horses. So all what we needed to do is try not to mess it up. We knew what we were capable of. We knew that we had riders and horses that have experience at that level. So to prepare for Barcelona and Rabat, All we did was keep our horses in shape and keep ourselves in shape. At the end of the day, show jumping is show jumping. Whether you're doing it at a Nations Cup, at a Nations Cup final, for the Olympic Games, for a Grand Prix, you still have to jump the jumps and you have to jump them clear. So luckily we all had enough experience with that. So the added pressure, sure, it was something extra, but it wasn't something that really would put us off our game. And I think that was really important. So all what we did was take care of our horses, take care of ourselves. We really made sure that the horses were in peak condition by making sure that they were jumping enough, but not over jumping. And luckily it all came together on the right day, and we managed to pull it off, not just the qualification, but also the Nations Cup win, which was the first victory in a Nations Cup for Egypt ever. So pretty proud of that. I think so. I think it's very often overlooked how important like the team spirit is for success as a team. You know, Habouda, Samah, Hamouda, and I were all pretty young riders. We're all under the age of 35. And we were all very supportive of each other. We knew that we had a unique opportunity and that we were good enough to capitalize on it. So all what we needed to do was make sure everybody knew that they were supported, that the first rider for our team knew that the next three were going to do their job, and that we were going to fight for each other. I think we had a great spirit the whole week. We all get along great as friends, as riders. We have good relationships. So it obviously makes it a lot easier when you have to compete in such a high pressure situation. It helps to know that your friends are with you and that they have your back. I think the sport is growing. It's growing all over the world. It's growing here in Egypt as well. I can't say I've been here a lot, so it's hard to see how big the development was. But the last time I competed in Egypt was in 2007, and I come back every winter and just check on things, see my family, also see my friends who ride, occasionally stop by a horse show. And it's exciting. I mean, I came to teach a clinic here this year, and you know, I had a group of 60 kids who wanted to work with me, and they were all very ambitious and very hardworking. And I think that speaks volumes to where the sport is going. You know, if we have a lot of young people who are interested in the sport, who look up to us as the international riders who are representing Egypt, it inspires everyone to be better and to improve, and for the federation and everybody to keep supporting equestrian in Egypt. You know, we have a lot of talent here. I never doubted that. We've always been, in my opinion, one of the strongest Arab nations when it comes to show jumping. So, I think it's moving in the right direction. We have a lot of young kids who are interested in the sport, and we have a lot of passionate people who are encouraging the sport to continue to grow here in Egypt. Yes, my plan for the next year, I'm going to be in Wellington in the beginning of the year. So I'll be at the Winter Equestrian Festival. It's a 12-week circuit. That's just going to be kind of a warm-up for me, especially for Lucifer, my Olympic horse. I'm not planning to show him very much. And then in the spring, so probably April and May, we're going to be in New York. There's a few nice 4-star, 5-star shows there. That'll probably be the beginning of my build-up for Lucifer. And then in June, we're going to go to Europe, and that'll be just the final prep, maybe jump a Nations Cup with the team just to make sure everybody's on the same page, so we just get used to working with one another again. And then the horses go to Tokyo. They have to be there 2 weeks early, so it's going to be a long wait before the championship starts. But I think the most important thing is, to just make sure the horses get there feeling good, that they're prepared, and that we as riders are prepared to give it our all. I wouldn't say we need anything, but we love support. We always feel like we're being supported back home. So just keep doing what you guys are doing. We're going to keep working our hardest, and if you guys keep cheering us and following us and sending us support and sending us good vibes and messages, that goes a really long way, especially when you're halfway across the world and we're only 3 or 4 riders in the team. We really like to feel that the whole country is behind us, and we always do. So just more of the same, please. Yeah, I mean, it's hard because the Europeans have been doing this for a very, very, very long time, and they breed their own horses, they produce their own horses, they really work from the ground level all the way to the top, not just with the riders, but with the horses as well. I think at the end of the day, it's very important to have a good horse. So the more we can encourage riders to go out and search for the right horses, the more that the clubs understand what kind of horses that the students need to improve, I think that's going to go a long way. At the same time, I think knowledge is very important, as the country needs to learn from all the other countries who have been successful, and the only way to do that is to travel, is to watch. There's so much you can learn just from watching other riders and horses, just on TV or on the live stream, or even going to the show and standing by the warm-up ring. So, I just think that we have to keep trying to grow. We have to keep encouraging kids to learn from the best. We have to keep encouraging good people to come and teach clinics, good course designers, and eventually the level is going to go up. I think the highest class we have in Egypt is meter 40, meter 45. I don't see why eventually 5-10 years from now the biggest class should be 150 or 155. I think we have strong, capable riders, and we just have to keep on progressing and trying to learn from the best people in the sport. No. Yes. Yes. No. Probably, yes. Guilty. Yes. Yes. T. Black. Instagram. Logical. Probably leader. Ooh, both. Bloody horses. Yeah, right in the middle. PlayStation. Rap music. Summer. Love. Coca. Probably movie. Car. Oh, I have a lot of favorites. I have to choose one. Ooh, that's hard. Probably Christian Alman. Equestrian show competition. Stockholm, GCT Stockholm. I don't really have one, sorry. Ooh, too many good songs to choose one. Oh, you're putting me on the spot. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'd be insulting too many other good songs if I chose one song. So, yeah. We deal with live animals that they don't have the same day every day. To reach the top 10, that's going to be a different challenge. Obviously, you need to show a lot more.